Hey team, so this video is going to introduce you to a new structure, a new model for our class for second semester. Okay, so the next couple of videos will go into more detail. I'll tell you about grading and how your work is going to be structured and all that, all the details that you really want to know. Here I just want to talk a little bit about why we're changing and just high level what it's going to look like. Okay, I want to start by thinking about how classes are structured in general, and particularly math classes. So a traditional class, and what we've been trying to do, and probably what every math class in your life has done, right, is something like this, right? So each class, each lesson, right, kind of builds on each other. And what we build towards is like there's some number of lessons that build in like a pyramid fashion towards an assessment of some kind, usually like a quiz or a test, right? And ideally, that assessment's going to be a high-level assessment with, I like to include a lot of real-world problems personally, because I don't think that there's a point to learning math if you can't think about how you'd apply it to real life. So ideally, this assessment's going to be pretty high level, right? So we want to get somewhere where we're learning things that are useful and that can be pretty challenging, right? So we're building towards some kind of hard assessment, or the word we use here a lot at Noble is rigorous, right? You've probably heard teachers use. So that's the idea, right? And it makes sense, and it often works, right? But often what happens is, let's say this lesson is just, or these lessons are just a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But let's say you're absent on Tuesday and Wednesday, right? So we run into a problem, right? And what happens is, if you're absent on those days, you only get, half the lessons you need to do well on this assessment. And then this assessment ends up being very hard for you, right? And it might even not even be that you're absent. It might be that, I don't know, you got dumped on those days. Or you got dumped, I guess, on Tuesday, and then were checked out for Tuesday and Wednesday, right? Or it might be like this year especially, your little brother was really loud on this particular day, or your internet was down, or you just like really struggled to deal with Zoom that particular day. There's a lot of things that can get in the way, especially this year, causing you to miss some lessons, and then causing this whole plan to kind of fall apart, right? So our fix is going to be a self-paced structure, right? So we're going to think of it really similarly, where we take a bunch of lessons and they build up towards an assessment, but we're going to think of it in sort of a linear path, right? So instead of building a pyramid, we're going to think of it, we're like walking down a path and we're doing the lessons in order, okay? So this might look the same. It might be that you do these lessons in order: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then take the quiz the next week or whatever. Or it might be that you're absent on these days, or your internet is down, or whatever, right? So it might be then, in that case, you might do them on Monday, Thursday, and then 2 lessons on Friday, and then a lesson on the following Monday and Tuesday again. So you might do these lessons on different days if you're absent like Tuesday, Wednesday. And then we don't have this problem of like our whole unit falling apart. Okay? So what we're getting rid of is this idea that everybody's doing the same thing on the same day. And the reason that we can do this, especially this year, is we can use video to replace like me talking at you as a whole group, right? So here is a summary of the changes we're making, right? So from now on, every lesson is going to go in order in this class, okay? So if you miss an assignment or you miss in a class, you're going to pick up where you left off, okay? So instead of like trying to jump back in the middle, you're going to do exactly the next lesson, okay? What that means is I can't really like teach you things in a live Zoom class if everybody's at different spots, right? So live Zoom classes are going to be mostly work time. and I'll describe the details in an upcoming video here. And then what I'll be doing is giving you guys a lot of help in small groups and one-on-one. So what I'm trying to teach you will always be the next thing that you're working on in sequence. The effect of that, right, is that you might be all working on different assignments on different times, and that's okay, particularly because I can make videos that can help you do whichever assignment you're working on, so you don't need me necessarily to progress through the content. The most important thing is this bullet point here. So we're going to master content before moving on. And then that means you're always going to be ready to learn the next thing in the sequence. So you're never going to have to jump back in the middle. Some of you had that experience last semester where you missed a couple classes and then you were lost, right? So that we're going to avoid. And then, obviously, for this all to work, our due dates are going to be a little bit more flexible. So I'll talk more on the details in the next video. Okay? So, for now, take a second, pause, and just reflect, like, how does this sound, right? And how will this help you, and what challenges might you run into under this model? When you're ready, you can move on to the next video where we'll talk a little bit more detail about how your day-to-day life is going to look in this class.